Welcome back to our Last 30, a podcast about life, death, and everything in between. And this week, no, we did not coordinate our outfits.
No, we did not.
But we did walk into the studio and realize that we're wearing the same color shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Salmon.
Salmon. That's what we came up with. The little salmon shirt.
What in the heck? Listen, we are on another level of connecting when we walk in with jeans, black shoes, and salmon. Like, listen, not cool at all. But here we are. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us again for another podcast. Last week, we did something different, unique for us, right? We did another Spanish language episode, and the thought is not to not have others listen in, but it was actually a request. People wanted to hear our thoughts and perspectives, our opinions on the elections that just happened a few weeks back, and specifically Latinos in the Democratic and Republican interpretation of what happened, right? And so we just shared that. Thank you for watching, and we got a good amount of views on that, and pretty excited on continuing that. At the end of the day, we're here to respond to those requests, right? So if people want to see something from us, we're going to do it. And actually, that's what today's episode is. I got a text from a friend of mine, and I pulled some of that, and I'll read it here, but she says, hey, do you remember we used to go grab lunch, and we used to have the Save the World, we used to call them like Save the World lunches. We'd get together and really just talk about what's happening in the industry and how to fix this and this. And she'd get my opinion, I'd get her opinion on a lot of things. Caesar, you and I have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. You're like, hey, so we both work in higher ed, and we jokingly call it Save the World because at the end of lunch, we're like, did we save the world? No, we didn't. But we did find some solutions to some ongoing issues and concerns. Usually it ended up with the opportunity to collaborate, actually, and like, or offer solutions like, hey, have you talked to so-and-so, people we know in the industry? And so, yeah, that's kind of where today's episode is coming from. And so it was basically lunch with lots of solutions. And so she went on and said, I love your perspective on life and your interaction with Caesar. Would you mind spending a couple of minutes to comment on a couple of my questions that I have here? And I thought, that's a great idea. Yes, we're going to answer your questions. Thanks for sending those in. I have those here at the bottom. But I also wanted to build on that and just say, Caesar, get 3 or 4 questions together. I'll get 3 or 4 together, and let's ask each other some questions after we answer the ones that came in from a listener. Let's kind of ask each other some questions, and without, here's the rules. We don't know what each other's going to ask.
Yeah, we're going blindly in this, so we didn't have time to prepare no answers, so whatever comes out of our mouths is...
Yeah, and even, and so I told Caesar, I said, all right, man, so remember, ask us, I'll answer, and then you give your perspective. He goes, no, I wrote questions for you. He was like, dude, what are you doing?
We're going to get juicy.
We're going to get juicy. We're going to get as personal or not or perspective. You'll just see both of our different personalities come up in asking and answering. So the first one that my colleague asked was, like, just share your opinion on home ownership versus renting. What's your opinion on that? Have you ever thought about owning a home? Have you ever rented, and kind of where are we at as a nation or a community on those perspectives?
I guess it's a good time.
By the way, hold on, before you answer that, shout out to Jelly Roll, Joe Rogan, JD Delay, like, listen,
everybody, hey, y'all
Patrick, Bet, David, we've been listening to a lot of these guys and getting inspired and listening to their podcasts and their perspective as influencers, as musicians, as just talent, educated, and so just super appreciate.
Did you see the Thanksgiving game, Cowboys game?
I did not.
Jelly
I saw
Roll
that.
played.
No.
Jelly Roll was he was part of the halftime show.
I read that, yes, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll. Okay.
Jelly Roll came out and song Safety.
I'm sorry. It's just I'm still hurt about the Cowboys season. And so I have not watched intentionally any games.
I might get canceled for that. No.
You might get canceled for watching the Cowboys.
For not watching them.
Oh, for not watching them. Sorry, guys. I'm going through a tough time with my Dallas Cowboys. I talked a lot of shit in the 1990s. Okay, you weren't alive. In the 1990s, we were on top of it. I talked a lot. Yeah, I talked a lot of noise. Troy Aikman era, Michael Irvin. Yeah, it's been about that 30 years. And so my friends still make me eat my words, right? And that's just part of being a fan. I get it. But I'm taking a break from the Cowboys this year and watching some of the games. I do watch the highlights. I watch this, I monitor the games. But the truth is, I can't watch it live. It's too hard on my heart, man. It's just too hard.
Yeah, I was at a game not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right. You actually went to the game.
It was painful to be there. So
homeownership versus renting, man. What's your opinion on that?
I think,
in our salmon shirts.
Bro, I can't even look at the camera right now.
I walked in like, what are you? Is this a joke, dude? Oh my God.
Homeownership. It comes to at a right time, I think, because that's actually what I'm thinking about currently. Working on that process of looking at different locations, looking at different areas. Probably not this year, but probably at the beginning of next year. That's one of the early goals for 2025. To look into that. So, yeah, honestly, I think it's important to have something, whether it be.
All my realtor friends are wondering, do you have a realtor?
I got it.
Okay, all right.
But hey, if you got some incentives, you got some stuff.
All right.
That you might want to gift me.
Hit them up.
Hit me up. I'll leave my number down below. But yeah, so I think it's important. Whenever we start looking at rent right now, and I'll talk about the area where I live, just again because I'm not too well versed with other areas, but in the area where I'm at, which is near GFW Airport, we're looking at a 1-bedroom rent, no less than $900 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. So we're looking at $900 a month. When a mortgage can be anywhere from $1,500, $1,700, $200, $2,000, anything like that. So if there's the possibility to be able to obtain a home, I think it's important. Obviously, I know a lot of people aren't able to. There's a lot of limitations that come with it, but there are other ways. There are other avenues that you can explore to be able to do that. There's like a rent-to-own type of incentives that they have out there. There's even these like pre-manufactured homes that are super reliable as well. That now they look even better than some of the actual homes. They've
definitely stepped it up, man. They have stepped it up. Back in the day, those pre-manufactured homes, if it was 80 degrees outside, it was about 78 in the house. It was 100, it was 95. And when it was cold, like you felt it. They weren't insulated very well. And my understanding is they have really stepped it up and provided a great option for first-time buyers and young families, and because renting or apartment life is tough. It can be very challenging. The benefits, you don't ever have to fix anything. Right. You go there or you call a manager and they fix it. Is my understanding, or in some cases, my understanding is they're not quick to fix stuff.
That's the issue.
And if you're a homeowner, you're on your own. At the same time, when you sell and it's time to move, you're on your own. Here, let me give you some advice real quick. If you're trying to sell your home, use a realtor. Please. Trying to do it on your own, you think you're saving some money. You're not in this kind of market. You're not saving any money. Go to the experts who can help you and with the paperwork and find the right buyer to get your home, or the right home for you to buy. And it's important. I've had some phenomenal realtors in my circle, and some who are friends. And I mean, one of the best in the state of Florida is a friend of mine, and she can get you. Her specialty is military veterans and active duty, and so find the person in your community who's killing it, right? And have them help you buy your home or sell your home for real.
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean, as a first-time buyer myself, starting to do this process, the realtors are a huge help. They've been the ones that have been pulling me like, oh, hey, these are some of the incentives that you can get with this home, some of the loans that you're able to be approved for, things like that you might necessarily not know right off the bat. So it's great to have that. And obviously now, I think if you're buying a home, you don't pay a commission to the realtor. The owner, or not the owner, like the company, whatever, the construction company, whoever's building, the builder is the one that pays the commission to the realtor. So you're not, so you're not having to spend money on having to get a realtor, which that's, I guess I don't want to call it myth, but that's like a misguidance that a lot of people think that, oh, if I have a realtor, I'm gonna have to put in more money into it, and I have to pay the cost for the commissions and things like that. They work for you, but they get paid through other avenues.
Yes, and honestly, 3, 5, 6%. Even when that was the case, they sold your home, man. You don't even know the amount of work and trouble and legal possible ramifications if you don't do it correctly, and how you can get burned. Listen, go through a realtor, please, man. Great question. Thanks for sending in. And her second question was, the cost of earning a college degree has gone up. We all know that. We know in the last few decades. In your opinion, and she knows that we work in higher ed, is it still worth it? Is a college degree still worth it, Caesar?
Shoot.
And I get this question. I talk to a lot of young people all the time. Hey, sir, is it worth it? How do you answer that?
I'll be straight up, just like I am with my students and with the guys that I serve and the people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis at work. It depends. It depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is to have a position, let's say in education, obviously yes, education is needed. You need to have some type of degree to be able to work in this field. If you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe not necessarily. You need a 4-year degree or a master's degree. An associate's degree maybe the way to go. But I think it depends on the individual. It depends on where you see yourself. For a lot of people, education is let's call it a requirement per se in their lives, to feel like they've achieved something, to feel like they've been successful in life.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, Siri, I cannot say that again.
Did your phone or your watch just go off?
Siri thought I was talking to her, but
why?
I don't know. It does it sometimes. But yeah, I think it depends. Like I said, if you feel like you need a degree, you feel like you need to have that, go for it. But look at the options, look at the places to be, look at the right institution. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of people that I've seen, they're like, oh, I got to go to A&M, or I got to go to Texas Tech, or I got to go to UT because that's where my family went. No, you don't. You really don't. You're just putting yourself
correct
in a hole after you graduate, because those loans, the repayment, all of that, you're not going to be able to get a good job if you're just going to be there to graduate and say you graduated from this institution, and if it's not going to benefit you anything else in the workforce, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. And you make some great points. When people ask me, hey, sir, is it worth it? Well, my question, like you, I said, well, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, going to college is not something you have to do, unless you're going to a place or career where you need certification, where you need that minimum qualification. There's a lot of reasons to go to college. I can tell you, college, just like the military, changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I lived in a difficult situation, and my mindset was still stuck in that difficult situation. The university helped me overcome the mindset, the poverty mindset. Okay. And that could have come a lot of different ways, but the university and the military helped me get through that. As Mr. Fuentes and Dr. Fuentes, I'm invited to 2 different conversations.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate. It shouldn't be true, dude. I am no different as Mr. Fuentes as I am Dr. Fuentes, but having that title gives you certain privileges. And the way I use it, right, is to be respectfully engaging and empowering of others who are not at the table.
Absolutely.
That's how I use mine. Is it necessary? What do you want to do? Is that main college necessary? Well, again, what do you want to do? You could get most of what you need at a community college or a regional university.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's not accidental that Cesar and I work at regional colleges and community colleges, regional universities and community colleges, because that's what got us out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what inspired us. And that's where we get to continue to inspire. I went to Del Mar College in Corpus Christi. Before that, I went to Pierce County College and Central Texas College when I was in the military. Those opportunities, those first opportunities, let me believe that I could accomplish something that before that I didn't think I could. So if nothing else, it served its purpose. And here's the other thing, what I hear, people are very critical. You can be critical of anything online. That business, if it's a reputable business, will not respond. If it's a piece of shit, dumb business, they're going to respond. If you're local hairstylist, and you talk shit to your hairstylist and they respond back, it tells me already the level of lack of professionalism. I would never go there because you responded, right? The university is not going to respond, guys. So if you sit and say, I got my degree from said college or community college, and I didn't get any job within the field. Okay. Well, they're not going to respond. But my question is, show me your transcript. Show me your work ethic. Yeah. Show me who you are as a person. Listen, man, I went to A&M Corpus Christi, and I was at the circle with all the Dartmouth, Harvard, Yales, Columbia's, Penn. I was in the same circle as all of them. I went to A&M Corpus Christi. Does that mean A&M Corpus Christi prepared? Yes or no? That means I was going to do it no matter what, regardless, Caesar. Yeah. It means that if you have that, you have it. If you are listening and you're the vice president of your organization or university, baby, you was going to do that whether you went to this university or this university. Yeah. You were going to do it. If you're worth $1 million, you was always going to be worth $1 million because your mindset, you grind differently. Mm-hmm. But if you sitting there and you blaming people for your shit, that's who you are. You don't take responsibility for your actions. So is college going to help me? Well, who are you? Who are you as a person and what do you want to do? I talk to people like that. Who do you want to be, mijo? Oh, I want to be the best tattoo artist in the world. You don't need it unless you want to own the businesses and get a degree where you can own several tattoo parlors. But that's later on in life. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you want to be the best artist, you want to be the best cook, you want to be the best whatever, go do it. The schools and the degree don't determine your success. Nope. It's you. Mm-hmm. No matter what. Your failures in life, also you. And your successes are you. Obviously, we know that. Because we give ourselves credit when we win. But we don't like to hit ourselves when we don't do as well. And we've all learned these lessons.
It's a hard lesson. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, once you learn that and stop blaming others, you're way better off.
Absolutely.
We talked about it a couple episodes ago in the education, when we were talking about education, how I got kicked out of the program. Yeah. Jokingly, I blamed it on the advisors and the supervisors that kicked me out. It was all on me. I wasn't holding out to my to the requirements that they needed. I was not meeting the standards of the program. So yeah, I ended up getting kicked out. Obviously, at first, I didn't see it that way. Maybe I didn't want to understand it, that it was my fault that I got kicked out and not
It's hard to come to that conclusion that it's your fault.
Your fault. But once you do, you're way better off. And shoot, look, here we are now. Man. After that nonsense.
The growth that happens when you can be introspective and acknowledge that you messed it up, man. Or maybe you didn't do your best, or maybe there's a lesson to learn in the process. Listen, it's not accidental that the old heads, the old veteranos, try to educate us a certain way. And now I'm that veterano, dude. I'm the older dude talking to young. For me, like telling a 30-something or 40-year-old person is like, man, when I say like, well, when I was your age, I know it sounds funny. But it's real, man. It's like, listen, when I was, 28, trying to think, oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're actually on a good path. Ultimately, here's what I'll tell you. The path is yours.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right or wrong, short, long, or behind or ahead. It's your path. Live it. And there will be successes and there will be difficulties and barriers. Navigate them.
Absolutely.
Adapt and overcome. You're going to be all right, man. You're going to be all right. But yes, is college, is it necessary? For what? Was it necessary for me? It was. And I love it. I have no regrets. And that's why I continue to sell the concept, because it's a life-changing approach. It's a life-changing resource. But it's not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
Be cautious of the people who try to shit on higher ed, though. Yeah. Like those guys, like, listen, why are you taking advice from a guy about wearing running shoes who wears chanclas? Baby, please, man. You don't know. If you don't know, if you didn't navigate this system, I don't talk noise about people's jobs. I don't say, hey, so-and-so, why you this? I don't do that. Like, oh, are you happy? Were you making money? Good for you, bro. Yeah. Good for you. I celebrate that. And I get it makes it feel kind of funny when people are like, oh, you don't need a degree. I know that people who have degrees, like, I don't know about people who have degrees. I know that for my job, I needed it. And it made me better. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a better person. No. I'm not better than anyone else for having a degree, Caesar.
Or whenever they start shitting on our jobs, that all you guys do is just sit at the office all day long. All you got to do, bruh, y'all don't know the least.
Dude, on a given week, man, I put 100, 110 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
And we only get paid for 40. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that, when they lower my cassette, they're like, hey, for real, hey, I lived 2 lives, dude. I lived 2 lifetimes. I took less sleep to work more, to make more money, to empower more people. No complaints. I love it, dude. I love it.
Absolutely.
Caesar, let me ask you a question. I'll start off. I'll ask you a question. Okay, let's go. Let's ask each other a couple questions. How much time we got about 15, 20 minutes. If you were stuck on an island, all alone, you're all alone.
I die.
I couldn't find anything called root.
Siri, shut up.
Siri, we're trying to do a podcast. This technology is in our business. Caesar.
Okay.
If you were alone on an island, okay, and they let you take 3 things, you can pick any 3 things. What do you take, and explain the 3 things you take?
The fuck?
Sir, we don't use that language on our podcast.
I covered it. They couldn't hear it. I covered it.
We're wearing salmon shirts, dude. How tough are you, man? We're wearing salmon shirts.
Okay, island. Okay, vamos a ver.
You're alone on an island, but they let you take 3 things. What do you take?
3 things. Is it for what?
Anything. No, you can't ask a question. I asked you the question. You can take 3 things. What do you take and why?
Okay, let's pretend this island there's some trees and stuff where I can survive off of food. So I will take probably some type of knife, machete, something to be able to cut down some trees or whatever I need to, some branches. We'll go with that. One of those like little, what are they called? Those little like multi-use tools things that for like camping tools with knives in there, like one of those to be able to survive, make a little fire, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's one. Well, I don't need water because I'll be on an island, so I guess you can get water from there. Is there signal on the island? Hey, I gotta stay in touch somehow, bro. Is that Wi-Fi or no Wi-Fi? I gotta watch my Netflix. I gotta keep myself entertained if I'm gonna be on an island.
You're trying to survive, bro. You're about to die. You're worried about Wi-Fi?
If I'm on that island, if I die entertained,
no, you die watching TikTok clips and YouTube shorts.
Was I with that? Okay, well, no signal. Camping. What's it called? A tent with nice, but one of the nice ones. Those insulated ones. One of those to be able to survive.
Okay, that's it. Those are your 3 things. So let's review. Okay, help me out.
The tool.
You said a machete.
And then I changed it to the.
You didn't say I changed it.
Okay, well, the tool, the tent.
The tent and
then we'll go with a book, some book to read.
What book?
I don't know. Whenever I go on that, before I go to the island, I'll read some pictures and take one to read and keep myself entertained.
How long is this guy gonna survive?
Not long, bro. That's why I was gonna take the boat
with a multi-tool with screwdriver. Like, is there anything I can screw or unscrew around here, sir? You're all alone on an island. You're not. That little knife ain't gonna cut.
I never been camping before. I don't know the fuck. I
found out this a couple weeks ago. Caesar has never been camping, so we're gonna schedule a camping trip. We're all gonna get together. If you want to go with us, put your name in the comment. I'm gonna take my family.
We'll be live.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do a podcast from a campsite.
In the wilderness.
What we won't do is
take a multi-tool.
We will not take a multi-tool and a book and what else? A tent.
I gotta sleep somewhere.
If I were
okay, yeah. Let's see. Let's hear it.
Let me just. I don't know, because my questions were for him. But if I were to, I would take a fire starting device. Okay,
that's in the multi-tool kit thing.
No, it's not.
I can see. I've seen it. I'll show you after we're done. Continue.
Anyways, this guy, he's the next thing I'm gonna say is like, that's also on the multi-tool.
También. Oh, okay. Well, it's multi.
It has Wi-Fi on the multi-tool.
Wi-Fi though.
I would take something to build a fire.
Okay.
I would take a large knife for defense, and actually, I'd make it a spear. Mm-hmm. I bought a spear today. It's pretty sweet looking. And then the last thing I would take would be a group photo of my family for obvious reasons. Just something to keep me alive. In my last days, if I'm gonna shut my eyes for the last time, I want my family to be the last people I see. So yeah, man. All right. So now you ask me a question.
Okay. Cool.
Also, while he asked me the question, put down 3 things you would take to a deserted island. What would you take with you? Not necessarily to survive, just what would you take with you?
All right. So when in the podcast, we've talked a lot about your military. Well, we actually haven't talked much about your military days.
Yeah.
We know that you were in the Army, mm-hmm. but so it's a 2-parter question.
That's cheating.
No, it's one question, but on 2 parts. It's multi.
It's a multi. Now these salmon shirts got us all.
So multi-part. So first off, can you tell us what was your role in the military? Like what do you guys call it? Your
MOS.
MOS. And give us one of your favorite memories within the military days.
Yeah. I enlisted in the early 90s, right out of high school, and took what we know as the ASVAB, which is the military occupational specialty test. It allows you to kind of help determine what jobs you could go into, is what I understand about it. Did that, and then went to San Antonio, MEPS, and then from there they shipped us out to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Not a whole lot of information available. Just like, you had a brown envelope, and that in there was your job. You were going to go to school to do this job, and
for me, to pick it.
We got to pick it before.
Oh, okay.
And so they laid it out, and the way for mine, it was like 71L, 71 Lima, and then it said administrative support, administrative assistant, something along those lines. It was administration, so it was a clerical. Or maybe the word clerical was in there, but it was a role where you were going to go to, actually in school, we learned this is odd, we learned how to draft memos. So Department of the Army, this memorandum is for, and then you write a memorandum about an operation, about a budget, or about resources, or those kinds of things. But it was very gray. It was very unclear what we're going to do. So your first part of it is basic training. Everyone goes through that. It was several weeks. I don't remember. I do remember it was in South Carolina, and I was in the unit was Charlie 369, pro train. And so they had reserve drill sergeants come in. They were mean. They're very mean individuals. But I mean, that's what you knew. I know that I had never done so many push-ups in my life. And on the roads there in South Carolina, on base in Columbia, South Carolina, they had broken pieces of shell embedded into the asphalt. So when you're doing push-ups, you felt that, right? Anyways, so after basic training, you go do your job. For me, it was administrative assistant, and I went into a military police battalion, the 504th, which is the most decorated military police battalion in the United States Army. And so there I supported the military police in various operations, and Operation Safe Haven probably is going to be, I'll answer that as my favorite memory. During that time, if I remember correctly, it was in December, there was a riot, and many people were injured, and the response was tremendous on the side of the military. And I remember it because at the time I had a girlfriend there. Who turned out to be my wife, but I was dating her, and so she didn't speak English and I didn't speak Spanish, so we would try to communicate using a dictionary. And I remember I told her, like, when I get off, because I think we put in like several weeks and then they'd give you a couple of days off, kind of thing. Now the military is different. There's no guarantee of showers and warm food and all that. Access was very minimal. There was a lot of wet wipe kind of cleaning yourself. There was literally another unique memory is green eggs. Yeah, so for breakfast, and if you were...
you dunked your shoes or what?
That's what I thought. Because they serve it in this aluminum, real long, cylindrical aluminum can.
On ham, man?
And they had ham.
Eggs and ham?
Yeah, and we had ham as well, dude, on special days. So they would cook the eggs. I don't even know if they were real eggs, or if they were like, like powdered kind of stuff. And then it would start to get this little green hue to it. So I remember that. But you know what, man? I will tell you this. It was hot. It was terrible. There was mosquitoes. There was dengue fever. There was just bizarre craziness. It's the best times of my life, man. I met the best men and women to this day. To this day, they're my brothers and sisters. To this day, people I was with in the 66th and the 170th and the 504th are my brothers and my sisters. To the day I die, I'll remember them. And it all started off with walking into a recruit station and saying, I can't do this anymore, man. What options do you have for me? And that's when the discipline started for me. Siri, dude, put her in some liquid. For me, and I think for a lot of people my age, I'm in my early 50s, serving was this... I did my dissertation on the 1950s, 40s, and the veterans coming out, 1960s, how they were treated terrible, poorly. Men and women, mostly men, coming off the planes, were spit on because of the politics of Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And, that was not long ago, man. It was 50 years ago.
It was a while ago, but...
And but for you to be spitting on your military veterans, and now you serve, and I know some guy, you could be a piece of shit. I know one.
I know a few.
Punk ass dude. You know who I'm talking to. Cross-eyed. Cross-eyed want to talk shit to me. Boy, I wish you would. But anyways, there's some guys out there, and then you make them automatically, everyone's a hero, and that's not the case, man. There's still some jerks. There's still people who are not solid. But overall, at a 99 percentile rate, the people who serve, man, the military, are solid, man. And when I was there was my brothers and sisters, man. But I like to.
They didn't want me. But that's a whole different story.
Now you're too big, bro. You're too big, man.
No, that wasn't the reason, but that's a whole different story. That's a whole different topic we'll get into later.
Okay, here's my question for you. What's the best meal your mom makes for you? What's your favorite meal
All
your
of
mom
them?
makes?
Everything.
You gotta give me one meal, man. Brag about your mom. His mom's a chef. She's a cook. She does all that stuff.
Bro,
Can you buy food from? Can they buy food from your mom?
Yeah.
Dude, we just bought some empanadas, some strawberry.
She's a baker too now.
She's a baker. I'm telling you, man. So will you share her information on the comments because I need it. You're the DFW and they deliver like just amazing food.
I'll deliver.
Yeah,
I'm the delivery driver.
Mama hurt her foot. Actually, she broke it, right? Pretty serious. And so he's having to
I've been the delivery driver for
do me a favor.
A minute.
Put on a different color shirt, would you? What's the best meal your mom makes?
Okay, let's see. Well, I'd have to go with menudo. I think that's my favorite. It's always been my favorite. So she makes the best one. Like I've been spoiled to where I can't eat menudo from the store.
Anywhere else.
I can't get it store bought because I'm like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So probably menudo. But honestly,
what is menudo for those who may not know?
Beef stomach, beef tripe.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing if you haven't tried it. Well, if you get it in the right place.
Yeah, I mean,
if
there's some people who are not doing it right.
Yeah, they know how to cook it. And from in the area where we're from in Mexico, we also put hominy on it.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of places don't, but we do. So, yeah, probably the menudo. Yeah. But, I mean, anything that she makes, it's bomb.
And for real, though, if you want to order from her, she cooks it up. We've ordered and
bro, the
just
gorditas.
amazing. Oh my God! She makes these gorditas that are so I've never had those, man. They are very full, very flavorful, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
We even had them. We saved one, had it the next day. Still delicious, dude. Because some food the next day is not good. These were delicious. When my mom was alive, she would. I would ask for it specifically. She would make it for me. Man, I miss it. And it's a South Texas favorite. She would make carne guisada, so it's like cubed beef and gravy, a little on the spicy side, grayish gravy, rice and beans, and homemade tortillas. Bruh, you
can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with that.
Okay, my next question. So this has actually come from another podcast that I was listening to the other day. They were talking about what they call the burnt toast theory. What it entails is, or what it talks about is that in the morning, if you burn your toast, you redo it. You take a couple more minutes, put on another piece of toast or another piece of bread, get it toasted, and then you're on your way. Mm-hmm. What they say is that burnt toast could have saved your life or could have made a difference and impact.
I got you
on that day because you delayed it a couple minutes. So what are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love the question. I live my life and I tell my children all the time and my spouse, I do believe things happen for a reason. And I'm intentional about resharing those stories. If I say, for example, on the way for us to record, I texted Caesar. I said, dude, forgot my iPad. So we have two different iPads and all this stuff. Forgot mine. Don't worry about it. We got a solution. Had I gone back to do that, then I interfere and interrupt what the day was going to look like. Yeah, the good and the bad. And so when people, and I embrace the positivity. So when people are like, oh my God, I dropped my coffee in my pants this morning and I was late to work. And then like, cool. You have a job. Yeah. Change your perspective, man. So you have a job. You have a car, is what I'm gathering. You have enough money to have coffee in the morning. Mm-hmm. And you have, I assume, nice clothes and enough money to go back into your house and change and still look good and still have a job, still have a car. So you good, right? And you got to work safely. You didn't get fired. Nothing bad is going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
It's a damper on your day, but
a damper, dude. But I don't use the word damper. So
we do now. Yeah, with your salmon color.
Look at you.
Yes,
I hate to put a damper on the day, but I really believe that the power of the mind is your choice and your privilege. Yeah. That's our privilege, is the ability to choose happiness. So you could sit there and get lost in, my pants, I rested on that. Dude, for me, I hear your first argument and the second one, like, bro, you negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the third time you say it, then I'm gonna vocalize like, hey man, ever thought about seeing the positive way?
Mm-hmm.
Ever thought about seeing that actually that delay, those 8 minutes you had to go back upstairs, change whatever, 10 minutes, maybe that saved your life.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a piece of metal or rubber tire
something
was going to happen. Maybe you changed somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Just the other day, I told my wife, I was cooking it up and she was there next to me and she was helping. We're doing stuff together. I said, you know how life works? Isn't it crazy? And she was like, looking at me like, where are you going with this? I said, if I wouldn't have just pick a time at 15 and when you were 15, if we wouldn't have done those things at 15, then we wouldn't have done the things at 16, 17, 18, and then we wouldn't have met.
That would have changed completely, yeah.
We wouldn't have met. And if we didn't meet, I wouldn't have got my degree here and we wouldn't have had these kids and I wouldn't have met you and I wouldn't have met you. So none of this would exist.
No.
The way we thought or the way it's happened, just based off that chance meeting. But was it chance? I don't think it was, man.
No.
I think this stuff is all somewhere. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I really do think that. And your mindset, so the burnt toast thing is a beautiful understanding of things we've been saying for a long time. Change your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace the positive. Okay, like, hey, look, oh shoot, man, I got gray hair. So they say starting to come in. So what? Does that change who you are? Or I got a mancha, a little stain on my shirt. Cool. You had enough money to eat that day. And you ain't worried about it. You're going to go wash it.
Then freshman year, there was this quote that was going around with the guys and the whenever we're doing, I was rushing stuff. It's embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck.
It's going to suck. Nothing's going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's ever going to be.
I think the Marines say that a lot. I think if you're a Marine, comment. I think those Marines
one of the
say
brothers
that.
was a Marine.
So that makes sense.
Could have been. So yeah, honestly, I think for me, it's the same way. I think everything happens for a reason. No matter how much you're trying to change it or want to change things, I think there's a script already of how your life is going to play out. And you meet anything that you do and everyone that you meet is intentional.
Yeah.
Whether it be for them to stay for a while or for a minute. But every interaction that you have with somebody, for me, if I leave early 5 minutes, I'm stuck in traffic. If I leave late 10 minutes, I'm stuck in traffic. Like those are the things that I'm like, I don't need to be at the office at 8 o'clock today.
But you know what matters? But also your attitude, your perspective on the interpretation.
Absolutely.
Right? If you were to be like, oh, I'm always late, well, then change it, dude. Don't be my mom. Just change it, or change your route, or just give thanks that you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
They give thanks that your car started. In my life, I've had cars where it's like, boy, I wish,
yeah.
Gee, what are you gonna do? Start walking.
You just said that, and something just popped in my head. I was talking about my mama that she broke her foot. This is crazy thing. This is Saturday morning when she broke her foot. We were supposed to record that day.
That's right.
She goes to work at 4:30, 5 in the morning. For some reason, I don't know why, I woke up right as she was leaving the front door. So whenever she called me that she had fallen and broken her foot, I was awake.
Right.
I don't usually.
Normally, you're not.
I don't listen, and I don't listen to my phone like it's on mute or silence, whatever, overnight.
Yeah.
So
isn't that convenient? Do not disturb.
Do not disturb. I'm busy. I'm busy. But no, I think I don't wake up 6:37. We're supposed to record at 10 that morning. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just some reason, I ended up waking up right before she left for work. 10 minutes later, I was still up playing on my phone. I wasn't able to go fall back asleep. And I was able to answer her phone call right away whenever she called me that she had broken her foot. I'm like, okay, let's figure something out. Let's.
What about you, next. Man? What's your perspective on the burnt toast theory? I like it. I never heard it like that, but I definitely buy into that. And I think it's 100% your attitude.
Absolutely.
How you respond.
Your perspective.
If you're happy, it's your choice. If you're sad or mad, it's your choice too.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. This is my last question for you.
Let go.
Have you ever been in love?
Has to empezar con tus cosas.
And what was it like for you? What is love like for you?
Bruh.
Tell me the good and the bad of
the
love.
The good and the bad. This is gonna sound super fucking cheesy, bro.
Well, hey, I mean, love is like, don't put a damper on my game, bro. Don't put a damper on it.
I had to say it like that because we're bien mamones today.
Bien mamones. Look it up. I think it means super intelligent.
Super smart. Sí. Yeah. So I think honestly, looking at love and saying that, I think that there's 3 types of love, or 3 people that you end up loving. Your first love, which is the first girl that you're like, oh, I fell in love with. Mm-hmm. The second one, which is, I guess would have been matched, but didn't end up working, and then the person that you end up with. Mm-hmm. I think I'm in that spot of the third one, or looking for that third one. I think I've gone through it. And honestly, it's beautiful, bro. I think being in love, I love being in love. Mm-hmm. It's weird to say it that way, but it's just beautiful to know that you have somebody there that you can count on 24/7, somebody that for some time and feel the relationships you can come home to after work, after school, after whatever, and have them there, hang out with them, talk to them, talk about your day. I think having that person that helps you honestly just go through your day and rationalize everything that you're going through and things that are happening, and having that support, I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I think love, that's what love is. And honestly, it can be different ways. It can be different versions of it. It could be a lot of different things, but I think it's a beautiful thing, and just knowing that there's somebody there that you can rely on and that you can trust. I think that's also the biggest thing, especially talking about men. And men being in love and having that somebody that they feel comfortable with. Because when we're in love as men, we do stupid, dumb stuff.
Boy, who you telling?
Exactly.
Listen, we're already dumb. Like, listen, we're dumb. And then you add a component of love. We in there.
But I mean, we've talked it over. We've had stories. We've had conversations about this outside of it. But I believe it's important to have that feeling, because it just changes who you are and changes your perspective, especially as you grow older. Again, I don't have any kids yet, but the love that you can have for a little human being, that's just different. I mean, I have it with my nieces and nephews, and I can't imagine how I'm going to feel once I have that partner.
I also divide mine into 3 different kinds of love. There are many, guys. There's many, like, I love my job. I love the community. I love empowering people. I love barbacoa on a Sunday morning with Big Red or coffee. Like, listen, there's stuff that I love, right? But my first love was my mom. As a young boy, you all the stories about you looking up to mom, and she feeds you and she takes care of you. And my mom and I used to travel on the bus together and all that stuff. My first love was my mom. And it's true for most little boys. And that's why the rules are right around that middle school, high school. Like, hey, you say whatever you want, but don't say shit about my mama. Because then it's going to go down a different way. Bruh. It's going to go down a different way. Okay, so those rules still apply, right? So my first love was my mom. And I thought I was in love with all these girls, or I really liked them, this and that. But my first real love, I'm lucky though, this is just my world, was my wife. So I got to love this woman a different way, man. Just like understanding love and navigating the difficulty of love, bro. Like, How
It's
could
hard,
love
man.
be difficult, bro? It's hard, man.
It's a complicated
You
thing.
love this person, and there are times where you like over here Googling, like, how do you already know. Like, I'm not saying murder, but like, maybe I'm not saying kill, but like actually
get rid of them. I don't know. How you put it?
Like, how can you love somebody that much that you would do stupid things, say stupid things? And I've been there, and I'm there. I love my wife that much, and it's a cool thing. And I thought that was the ultimate for me love. Like, I love this woman. I'll do whatever. If she wants me to have, which I've had 3 jobs in my life at the same time, I'll go work hard so we can advance as a family, this and that. The real men do that. They're going to do whatever it takes to advance their family.
Absolutely.
And my third understanding of love was after my wife. It's my 2 daughters. And when you talk about different, bro, like when I tell you that I would do anything to protect my wife, I mean it, and my family. But I'm telling you, I would kill a whole army to protect my 2 daughters. And let me take a moment to apologize to any father if I ever disrespected you in my quest to spend time with your daughters, because now I know that I'll kill.
Yeah.
Nah, let me not say that. I would do whatever I had to do to protect my daughters. But love, when you talk about love, I love my 2 daughters more than anything I've ever loved. And I love my sons. I have two sons. I love them, man. I respect them so much.
It's a different kind of love.
But it's just different, man. It's like, it's just different. And please, if you're a father and you have daughters or fathers, and if you have sons and daughters, like, comment, educate me. But for me, that's my 3 understandings. So when you said you had 3 kind of versions of love, for me, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's powerful.
And when you have children, you're gonna see it, dude. You're gonna see that everything changes right there, man. You would do whatever it takes, and some of the hard stuff too. You know, sometimes it's saying no. Sometimes it's just like, no, I can't do that right now because I love you so much. I don't want to do it for you. This one you got to do on your own. Yeah, and that could be.
And then with love, there's a lot of things that are out of control when you have that big love. I mean, for example, talking about the kids, when I see my nephew or his niece that they're sick and they're crying, and you're like, "Fuck, I wish I could do something for them to stop going through what they're going through." But it's life. It's something. But I think it was a great question because we don't necessarily ever talk about it in public. We're not accustomed to talking about love. And,
we get you flower in our answer. But the truth is, we as men, we love. We hate, but hate is more acceptable than love.
Absolutely.
In our community, it's okay to be like, I hate this dude, I hate this, you can do this. But if you were to be like, hey man, I love this, or I love this person. What's wrong with this guy, man? You're gonna die in the barrel. He got his sandwich. I love you. But listen, dude. The complexity of being a human, the complexity of being a man, the complexity of being a person of color, the complexity of being educated or not, just all the complexities, man. At the end of the day, we're human.
We'll have the same feelings.
We want love, we seek love, and we want to offer love. And that's the bottom line. No different than you listening and watching today.
Yeah.
We have one last question, or that's it? We're running out of time, bro.
We're running out of time. We extended ourselves a little bit.
In 4 minutes, come on, give it to us.
Okay. I guess the other question that I had. Well, ask it stuff. This one goes deep, bro. Yeah, this one is a lot. It's a lot.
Can you do it? Or should we end
it might take us a while to answer this.
I can answer.
So we just had an event not too long ago with our guys at school. One of the questions that we talked about was, what is the woman's role in the masculinity and how men see themselves in life? See, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's difficult. What role do women play whenever you're looking in that masculinity, and how you see yourself, or how do you portray yourself in life?
3 words: love, support, and power. You know, and I could talk. We could talk for an hour, dude.
We could
just love that man, love him through it. You know, support that man and showing that love and all that stuff. Support, but there has to be trust, right? That guy's got to. He's got to be reciprocating all this stuff too. Yeah. You can't be a piece of work and then expect people to support you. And then empower is get him to where you're at.
Yeah,
get him. Explain to him. Tell him where you see this relationship.
Bro, we're dumb.
We're dumb, guys.
Sometimes people think that we can read their minds. No, you gotta explain it.
No.
Little dashes and dots and everything.
I like pictures. Take me to the movies.
Okay,
pues the movies entonces.
¿The movies?
Bañate. Oh, you want me to shower? Oh, you want me to put on some cologne? Okay, make me feel special. Well, my wife would say is like little things like what? Like, baby, you know what I do? And I thought I was showing love, and I do show love. But it was different for my wife. Every day I go, every weekend I fill up her tank, check the oil, of course, tires. Every morning on a cold morning, I reverse the car in, turn on the heat, defrost everything, check all the fluids. We're good. So she could just pull out and go handle her business and have a nice, safe day. That's love for me.
Yeah.
And what my wife said was, no, I appreciate it.
But I don't need it sometimes, bro.
She said, I appreciate it. But I also like when you just tell me I'm beautiful and you grab my hand. Like, but I think you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tell me, though.
Tell me, exactly.
Like, okay.
It's different ways. I think for men, that's a great point. We show love differently.
We do.
We do it like, okay, you're set. Okay, you got gas. You're not going to have to do it. Perfect. You have to know that I love you.
You got to know.
Girls, women, like to get those roses every once in a while.
Yeah.
Some chocolates. Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Hey, get ready, get dolled up, and let's go out for a night out, whatever. Things like that. So. Yeah,
and maybe not all women, but in our small circle, we acknowledge that the people that we're with, our moms, our sisters, our friends, our spouses and girlfriends. I have a spouse. You have a girlfriend.
No.
Let me clarify.
No.
Oh, yeah, no. Next show. ¿Qué pasó? What happened? Go on. Is it been just 7 t-shirts?
I don't got
a damper on your relationship.
Damper on my day.
Okay.
Bingo.
All right.
I don't know tequila.
Listen, man. We hope you enjoyed it. It's just our perspective. We're just trying to go back and forth, have some fun with the questions. If you want to send us more questions, you can email us directly or put it in the comments. And we're going to continue this. We're trying to talk about life, death, and everything in between, and so we have some more questions. We ran out of time. We're going to pick it up on the next episode because I definitely want to ask you about the afterlife. And I have some questions that we haven't talked about your perspective on that.
Yeah.
But man, thank you guys for watching. Please share this with your friends and colleagues if they enjoy it. Apologize for the matching t-shirts and the language. That's about all I got, right?
That's about it. Appreciate you guys. Thanks again for watching.
We'll see you later.